I'm John Levy, and it is my really distinct privilege to continue to serve as the 10th chair of the board of the Legal Services Corporation. And on behalf of our LSC board, I want to add my welcome to you as we start another day of this extraordinary Innovations in Technology Conference. It's the 23rd such tech conference that LSC's convened, and I think I've been at half of them. And my gosh, it's been 3 years since we've been in person at this conference, and it's so great to see and reconnect with so many of you. In my role as LSC chair, I know what the pandemic has meant to so many of our grantees, and I see so many of our executive directors and staff that work at our grantees across the country. And I have to say, from the bottom of my heart and that of my colleagues on the board, we are so very, very grateful to you for your work during this period. Thank you, and let's give you all a round of applause. Well, day 2 commences with this program of 4 short, fast-paced talks highlighting innovative technology projects and ideas. A decade ago, I would never have imagined that I would be involved in such a significant technology event, and frankly, my kids can't even imagine it now, and I suppose you even regard my participation with some bewildered amusement. But this annual tech conference is just one of the many initiatives LSC has launched over the past few years to promote the development of technology that can help make the justice system more accessible to all. The event, formerly known as the TIG Conference because it focused on LSC's Technology Initiative Grants, our signature technology grants program that I know our president, Ron Flagg, spoke about yesterday. Well, that program has helped to drive innovation in legal technology since its inception more than 2 decades ago. In addition to the TIG program, LSC has also convened 2 technology summits that brought together leaders in the field and produced results stretching far beyond the legal tech community. The second summit, held in 2012 and 13, issued a report that set the ambitious goal, and I quote it, to explore the potential of technology to move the United States toward providing some form of effective assistance to 100% of persons otherwise unable to afford an attorney for dealing with essential civil legal needs, unquote. Well, that led to the Conference of Chief Justices and State Court Administrators adopting that as an aspirational goal of their own in 2016. And it has helped to shape the discussion of civil legal aid ever since. Well, while much of that 2013 report is still timely, we need to update that to reflect the many changes in the technology landscape over the past decade. And LSC will complete 2 related projects this year, an update to the technology baselines and a strategy for advancing automated forms. With these projects to guide us, LSC will hold its 3rd Technology Summit in 2024, next year, and that will be a part of LSC's 50th anniversary year. LSC promotes the development of innovative legal aid technology because it's absolutely necessary in order to narrow the nation's appalling justice gap. You know what that is, the difference between the civil legal needs of low-income Americans and the resources available to meet those needs. And LSC's Justice Gap report issued last April demonstrated just how wide that gap is, revealing that low-income Americans do not receive any or enough legal help for 92% of their substantial civil legal problems in any year. That's wholly unacceptable. And the chronic underfunding of LSC and its grantees has helped to fuel this crisis. So as grateful as we are that the omnibus spending bill passed recently by Congress actually increased LSC's funding to $560 million, it was a 14.5% hike, much more is needed to close the justice gap after years of inadequate resourcing. In fact, in fiscal year 1994, think of that, 1994, 28 years ago, Congress appropriated $400 million for LSC. By 2022, our appropriation was only $489 million, not remotely enough to keep up with inflation, much less the increased demand and need for resources resulting from recessions, significant population growth in the country, disasters, and the pandemic that's occurred over the past 3 decades. And that's why our board voted unanimously to seek more than $1.5 billion in funding from Congress for fiscal year 2024. The many problems posed by the justice gap have only been magnified by the pandemic, but so has the importance of technology in addressing them. Remote technology, other innovations supported and promoted at events like this have been critical to the delivery of legal services during the COVID, and they still are. Well, folks, as we approach LSC's 50th anniversary, we just cannot keep kidding ourselves about the need for adequate funding of LSC and its grantees. And as Arizona's Senator Kristen Sinema observed at an LSC virtual event at the height of the pandemic 2 years ago, and I quote her, "We know the public health and health of the economy are inseparable and both directly impact the well-being of everyday American families facing issues like addiction, foreclosure, domestic violence, which don't go away during a global pandemic," she said. Disasters like the coronavirus strike lower income communities who bear the brunt. That's why, the senator said, "I'm urging congressional leaders to fund the Legal Services Corporation so that all of you can continue the critical work providing legal aid to Americans in need. Hundreds of thousands of veterans, elderly victims of foreclosure, and women and children desperate to escape domestic violence rely on your help," unquote. Well, the kind of technological innovations showcased here have never been more important to LSC's mission to keep faith with our country's foundational promise of equal access to justice for all Americans. The LSC board applauds and supports your vital work. You are at the heart of this foundational issue, and with your help on our watch, we will get this done. Thank you very, very much.